over here having panic attacks. You don't want me. Yeah, because nothing ever goes wrong with pain. Ever.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to East Chattanooga. As you can see, we have reached the end of the railroad. What we're going to do is we're going to put the locomotive out here on a turntable. Now, this turntable I'm standing on was built in 1916 by the American Bridge Company of Cambridge, Pennsylvania, for the Central of Georgia Railroad, and it was placed at their locomotive heavy repair facility located in Macon, Georgia. It was used in Macon until about 1925, and at which time it was deemed too small for continued use at that facility, and it was then moved up to Cedartown, Georgia, where it remained until the early 1980s when it was donated to the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum. We brought this table up here to East Chattanooga, refurbished it at a cost of a little over $100,000 in 1982 dollars, and we brought it here. We put it in use here at this location on July 4th, 1982. Now, from end to end, it is right at 80 feet long, and it weighs right at 80 tons. Steam locomotive 4501 weighs in excess of 210 tons. So that locomotive, once it's out here on this turntable, we will be turning about 290 tons of steel. So I'm surprised to learn that this is in fact a hand-powered turntable. It only takes 4 people to turn this table by hand. The trick is right beneath where I'm standing is a 6-foot diameter ball bearing that the engineer will balance over. He'll do that by listening to our conductor Dave over here. Or say, hi Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Dave's going to be spotting the 01 up with a mark he has on his rail that's closest to him. Because the 01 is a little bit big for this turntable. This is an 80-foot table. That's an 85-foot locomotive. So the front and the back of the engine actually overhang. As long as the wheels fit, that's all that matters. What the post office says. If it fits, it ships. Well, in this case, it fits, but just barely. So for that, on a safety note, please make sure you're at least 1 step behind that yellow line and that safety rope. That front knuckle will pass right over that rope. Now, in order for us to turn the engine around, I am going to need some volunteers. I need 4 volunteers to help turn the locomotive around. Now, before I get any volunteers over here, first, if I don't get enough people, I am going to have to start picking people. Look at you in the orange shirt right there. The second rule I have for volunteers, ladies, remember this before you start volunteering your husbands or your boyfriends or your sons. If you volunteer the person standing next to you, you just volunteered yourself as well, giving me a 2-for-1 deal. I saw you over there, so I got 2 of you right there already. So I need 2 more. Wow, this many volunteers in a long time. All right, 4 of you, fight it out. Come on over here. Help me turn the engine around. Just kidding. Sorry. Liability insurance won't let me get away with that no more. Instead, underneath this little house over here where Dave is a 25 horsepower electric motor, and we'll let it do all the work with the push of a button.
Oh no.
Now don't worry about me or Dave though, electricity won't flow through a bad conductor. Now we are going to begin demonstrating the table at this time. Again, just make sure you are at least 1 step behind that yellow line and that white safety rope. Dave, do your thing. Steam locomotive number 4501 was built in 1911 by the Baldwin Locomotive Works of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania for the Southern Railway. It is a Class 282 Mikado steam locomotive, meaning that it has 2 pilot wheels for guiding it around curves, 8 driving wheels to actually power it. Those are each 63 inches in diameter. And then it has 2 trailing wheels underneath the cab and firebox to support the weight of the cab, the firebox, and our engine crew. 4501 was the very first of 485 282 locomotives ultimately owned by the Southern Railway. And of those 485, it is the only one that survived into preservation. So the first one is the last one in existence. What saved this locomotive was in 1948. It was sold to a small coal hauling railroad called the Kentucky and Tennessee Railway in a small town called Stearns, Kentucky. It operated up there until 1964, when it was then sold to the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum's founding president, Mr. Paul Merriman. He got the locomotive brought down here to Chattanooga and has operated off and on here since 1966. The most recent overhaul was completed in 2014 at a cost of roughly $1.5 to $2 million. Now up in the cab, we have our engineer Brian. Make sure you wave to him and thank him for that nice ride he gave us over here today. And on the other side of the cab, as we come on around, you'll see our fireman Zach. Zach's job is to feed coal to the fire to actually power the locomotive, and it's also his job to monitor the water level in the boiler to make sure we have an adequate amount of water to boil to make steam to actually operate the locomotive. When Brian pulls on the throttle, that steam goes through the tubes inside the boiler, and then down into the cylinders here, next to these big rods, and drive the wheels back and forth, powering the locomotive. That steam is then exhausted up the smokestack, making that familiar chugging noise that people often associate with steam locomotives. 4501 coal tender holds 17 tons of coal and about 13,000 gallons of water. And as I mentioned earlier, over the course of the day, we'll run about 60 miles total back and forth, and we will consume about 7 tons of coal and about 8,000 to 9,000 gallons of water. Now our train is still sitting on track 1 over there next to the depot. We're going to line the turntable up with track number 2. We're going to do that so that our engine crew and conductor can take the locomotive down to the other end of the yard, turn a switch, and they'll place the locomotive back on the opposite end of the train to lead us back to Grand Junction. While they're doing that, you're welcome to visit the East Chattanooga Depot or reboard the train at that time. Restrooms are also available inside the East Chattanooga Depot. At this time, that does conclude our turntable demonstration. Thank you once again for riding the Evening Ridge Runner.